Yo, let's go. Welcome to the BMW Trading Podcast. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about real estate. So, when it comes to real estate basically means like buying and selling property, right? Buying and selling property or buying and selling land that has buildings on it, homes on it. We can talk about like, when I say buildings, I mean like 3 flats. Like you can even go like 10-story buildings, like, and you can have a lot of tenants in those buildings. And when it comes to real estate, like there's millions of ways to do it, but like, you also got to understand what we're getting into real estate for, right? So real estate is another way for you to generate income if you started to make money off of the profit of what you're selling. Basically what I mean is if you buy a house for like $10,000, say you buy a house for like $45,000, right? You put in $15,000 into making sure the house is like looking more newer, it has a couple more like furnishings, you know, like it's remodeled, it's refurbished. Now you put in $15,000. That's gonna equal out to like $60,000. Now what you do is you sell the house for about $100,000. That just gave you $40,000 in profit. It became an asset once you put it on the market. The house became an asset once you put it on the market, right? And the reason why real estate is so like profitable, and it's been profitable since they started selling houses, like, is because it allows for an investor. It allows for a person like me or you to actually get in on something that's going to always be beneficial to everybody around. Everybody needs houses. Like, I don't want to go too far, but I mean, like, there's millions of homeless people in the United States right now. Like, we can go downtown Chicago, and I can introduce you to people, like shake their hands. Like, we could talk to them right now. Like, they're homeless, and they've been homeless, you know, but, like, there's homes out here that need people. So it's like, how to really get to buying real estate or getting into real estate, like, it's not as difficult as we think it is. It's just about like who you know, right? So what I'm gonna do today, I haven't done this yet. You know, this is like one of the first times I'm doing this. I'm gonna bring to the mic somebody that like I see as an inspiration, and it's crazy because like he's younger than me, but like he's a little bit more tapped into certain things than I am, right? But like regardless, he knows what's going on when it comes to real estate, when it comes to building generational wealth, when it comes to like making sure that you are crossing your T's and dotting your I's, like all across the board, right? So let me go ahead and give a warm welcome to my guy, Kobe Capers, right? One Shot Kobe. Make sure y'all following him on Instagram, bro. Like, make sure y'all tapping into Splurge Fashion Club. Make sure you tapping into Splurge Investments Academy. Make sure you tapping into everything. Kobe Capers, bro. Go ahead and let them know who you are real quick, bro.
What's the word, y'all? So, really, I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur, just really trying to focus on building generational wealth. You know, that's really my main goal. Just break generational curses and make it out. I'm actually in school, so I'm actually in real estate school, focusing on getting my real estate license and starting my real estate entrepreneurship on. Just focus on buying and selling houses and fixing and flipping. So that's the main goal.
So what made you want to get into real estate from the jump? Like, what was because I know you into like I say, like fashion club, bro. You got the investments going on. What made real estate your avenue?
So really, my grandfather had his own construction business. So it was mainly, I was just always, as a kid or growing up, I was always into houses and shit. So just focusing on building bathrooms and building basements, laying tile, laying drywall. It's just, I always been inside of different people's houses, and I always been interested in the outcome that I can do and how much money's into it. So just me just always want to be a boss and always want to be on top of everything. I figure, why not like own a house and try to like fix the house up and sell it, because I already know what to do with it, you know. So that's always been like my main goal, just try to do. So.
Okay. So have you gotten into any cribs yet? Like, have you started to purchase cribs yet?
No, honestly, I have not. Not at this moment, just waiting on the capital.
Right. So how does one go about getting into real estate? Like, how do you figure that? How do you get all the information that you need? I know you got to get like a real estate license, correct? So how do you go about getting your real estate license? Who did you talk to first? Like, how did all that happen?
Well, going to get my real estate license, it was just simple, just searching up real estate schools nearby.
Okay.
You could just search up real estate school.
Are they expensive?
They cost about around, the highest I've seen about $600-700,
Okay.
but the lowest, you can do a self-paced real estate class for about around $350-400.
Okay.
You know, you could just.
Just depends.
It just depends. It only takes 75 hours to get your real estate license.
Okay.
So I mean,
75 hours of what, like studying, or 75 hours of like work with a firm, like 75 hours of what?
75 hours just of studying. So
Studying. Okay.
So just basically.
Like when you go to the school, basically like 75 hours,
Yeah.
like on the website,
On the
practicing and studying
Yeah.
like the books that they have on the website.
For sure.
Okay, so that makes more sense. And so, like, do you know anybody that has their own real estate firms right now? Like, have you talked to anybody like that, like that's already getting into like owning their own real estate firms?
Honestly, not right now. I haven't got connected in that field,
Mm-hmm.
but soon to be I will.
Okay.
I figure I have some connections in the real estate
Right.
game. I just haven't talked to anybody that's opening their own firm.
Okay. So can I ask you a question, man? Like, what do you think about? What do you think about a house being a liability more so than it being an asset? You know, how does a house become a liability, and then like how can you make it an asset?
So the only reason I can see a house being a liability is if it has a real big tax lien,
Mm-hmm.
meaning, you know, they didn't pay taxes on the house. Another liability I can see the house being is structurally damaged. So meaning it costs too much to fix. So if the house, let's say it has mold all through the house, and it costs $50,000 to remove the mold, and the house is only worth $65,000. It's like, just tear the house down. You know, just rebuild it.
He said just rebuild it for real.
Or just sell it. That's not, don't make that your problem. So when you buying houses, you try to not purchase houses that has liabilities. Basically, that's
Right.
what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So, cause a lot of people has made that mistake in the game. So that is like a rookie mistake, is buying a house that has a terrible
foundation,
just ROI. You putting in a lot more than
getting back.
Then you getting back. So you result in like an L, or it become a big headache.
Yeah.
So that's how a house become a liability to me. Just that.
So what about like family houses? Like my dad, he's lived in the same house for a while. Like he's lived here before I was born, so it's definitely been here for a while. But he still pays a mortgage. So it's like, would his house still be considered a liability, or is it considered an asset at that point? Because I mean, at the end of the day, from my understanding of what liability and assets are, if you have to pay for something consistently, it's damn near, not damn near, but it's like a liability, right? Because you're always giving to it. But then like when the house is, or not when the house, but when something is always giving to you, it's adding to you, so it's more so your asset than it is like a liability for you.
And I would say that is like, in the long run, he's purchasing something that's his. So just because you financed it, just because you got a loan, don't mean it's not yours. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all he did was got a loan, and he's paying a loan back. The house is his.
Right.
If he come up on, let's say he owes $65,000, and he come up with that, the house is his. So that's all it really was. So that's how the real estate become assets. A name, like if you get a house in your name, that's just an asset automatically. If the house is a good house, it's an asset. But as far as like, if the house is consistently dragging you and putting you in a hole, and you steady have to put more money into the homes, that's when it becomes a liability.
Okay. Cause yeah, man, I've been watching a lot of more people who are into real estate. I've been like listening to people like my mom. She just got her real estate license too, and like I just been trying to figure out like how do you get to the top of this game? Like what do you think are the main steps to get to the top of that game? Like how do you think you can receive the most income from being a part of real estate? So that way you can create those generational, like you can break the generational curses, and you can actually like start to build the wealth for people later. Like I don't know, man. And in my eyes, like I think owning property is very, you feel me, is good. But like you say, like it has to be like it has to be bringing you money back, or it has to be bringing you some kind of return, because you don't want it to just be a liability to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can own a lot of properties, but a lot of your properties could be bad. Like you could be putting a lot more money into your properties, and then it's like now I get it to my kids, and it's just a bunch of liabilities I just gave to them. You know, I want them to have more access to anything. So, like, what would be the goal? Like, what's the plan to really like make the most money out of real estate, or like what's the goal to like really like I say, get that generational wealth that you feel me looking for?
Right, you want like a personal goal, or you just like how to?
Yeah, so give me a personal goal, and then like give me like a so if you were to be talking to somebody like me who's just trying to get into real estate, you know, just give me like a 3-step, like, all right, but these are 3 things you need to do to take over the game. You know, these are 5 things you need to do to take over the game from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you haven't taken over the game yet, but I know you one shot Kobe, man. You know what I'm saying? You one shot Kobe, bro. Like it's over with. It's already up there. So you know,
really, I would start by saying get your real estate license. Actually, it takes 2 years for you to be able to work on your own. In Illinois, I don't know about different states and surrounding states, but to get your real estate license in Illinois, you do have to wait 2 years to be able to work by yourself. So your first 2 years, you work with a broker, meaning a managing broker, meaning that you work under them. You get commission under them, under their law firm. But once you, in like 2 years, once your 2 years pass and you did 2 years in the field, you can work on your own, and you can receive full commission, buy and sell houses. So that's what I can say. That's step 1. Boom. Now you're able to purchase and get houses for cheap. You know, not cheap, but you know, you don't have to go work through firms, and it's a lot of ins and outs with that. Step 2, I would say, is look for the best deals in the houses. You know, shop around, keep looking at. And then step 3, I would say, is like wholesale. Look for investors.
Look for investors, like for people who got money to put into the cribs already.
Like, or even if you just putting the houses on contract and assignment and just selling the contract to different investors, or you purchasing the houses and selling the houses to different investors.
No, I know you're not giving real estate, like major real estate advice, but what I'm about to ask you about this wholesaling, like, do you think that wholesaling is like I know it's another way to get into real estate, especially with, not even say without a license, but without a license. Do you think that that's like it's like a new era thing? Like a lot of people are starting to do it now more so than they did back in the day. You think like a lot of people didn't know about it back then? Like, and it's one of those things that are coming out now that everybody's trying to get into wholesaling. Because I was just having a conversation this morning about wholesaling with somebody completely different. Mm-hmm. So like,
and a lot of people don't know, but you can't even wholesale in Illinois.
That's what he said. But like at the same time, is that true?
You can't. You know why? Because they made it so, and they just passed the law. It wasn't recent, but they seen there was a lot of attention grown towards people just buying and selling houses, or putting houses on the contracts and selling them, and it wasn't like a fair legal trade. You know, I think that's really what caused the market to crash. Also, you know, in 2008.
Oh, wow. So you think that people really been doing the wholesaling? That's normal.
Really been doing the wholesaling, but they really put a stop to it and put an end to it. Like I feel like it was like recent, like really thinking like 2018.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
That's really how I found out that you couldn't do wholesale, because of course I wanted to do that at first. You know, I think it's up to, you can do like 2 houses, but after that, they flag you if you can do 2. I don't know.
Yeah. We were just watching a couple videos on it, man, like just trying to figure out what's the best way to even do wholesaling in the house, like, and with wholesaling, you're basically just a middleman. Like, say Kobe was selling the house for like $60,000, I was the middleman, I'm playing the wholesaler, I know somebody who wants to buy the house for $80,000, right? So what I do is I just connect the 2. I just play middleman. I tell them like, all right, bet I got this house for you that's worth $80,000, give it to Kobe, and then eventually like Kobe give me the $20,000 because of the profit. And like what happens was sometimes a lot of times you have to go through certain like title companies, you have to go through other like law firms. It just depends on like how the closing of the deal gets done and all of the paperwork that you already have. You feel me? So when it comes to wholesaling, it's definitely a way to do it. But like you said, in Illinois is not as legal, and that's where we're stationed at right now. We're in Chicago, Illinois, and in Illinois they say it's not legal, but like I say, well, I don't want to give out any legal advice, but trust me, like it's loopholes that allow people to do it. Like you say, you might get like two houses good, but then you might get flagged for it. So it's all at the end of the day, investing is a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like living life is a risk. So don't be afraid to take risks. At the same time, like you just got to do it right. Make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. So like you say, to get a real estate license, you can get a real estate license for just doing the hours of study, but then you need to like work with the firm or work with a broker company first.
Yeah, also you do have to take a state exam.
Okay.
You got to pass the state exam and the national exam.
Okay.
And then you get your
real estate license.
Yeah.
And then with the national exam, did that make you a broker through all of it, like through the whole nation, or just still with the state?
I mean, it depends. So, well, not really.
Nah.
Not really.
It makes sense though. It's like jurisdiction to it.
But some of them, they do have like your license does transfer to different states.
Yeah.
But all you gotta do is take the state portion of that.
Okay.
Of that state real estate.
Real estate test.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
So that's
not bad.
It's like Illinois. I know I can get my license in Wisconsin, Indiana, like Missouri, Texas, Georgia. It's like Idaho, a couple of more states.
So you can't buy or sell houses in those states until you get your license?
Right. No, I can't. Brokerage houses, like I.
You can go purchase a house out there,
Yeah,
but you can't like you say brokerage a house. Meaning what by brokerage? What does that mean?
Like buying, like being an agent.
Okay, you can't be an agent in those,
Yeah,
specific. Okay, but you can still purchase houses.
I can still purchase houses and everything.
Okay. So how does that agent process work then? Like, what would I need an agent for? Me being a first-time home buyer, like, what would I need an agent for?
An agent would help you get the best deal.
Okay.
The agent helps you look for the best homes in different communities, just because they have this is something behind the scenes that the realtors have. It's called the MLS system, the multiple listing system, or service. So what houses just get listed on, and what houses just get listed on it, it's not open to the public.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people use Zillow, you know, and Zillow is everything, but the houses first get listed on the people who has first grabs is on the MLS. So that's why I say that's what you need an agent for, and then they able to negotiate for you.
All right.
So, you know, a lot of people don't have negotiation skills and able to fight for the right price. Yeah. You know, they might get it at a lower price than you ever could. Yeah. Just by knowing how to talk. So
that's true.
It's great having a nice real estate agent that you trust.
Man. So how important do you think that is in the game? This is like one of my last questions for you, bro. Like, how important is it? Do you think to have like you don't necessarily need a team of investors, but that's not what I'm saying. But like, how important is it? Do you think it is to have like a team of people with good information to make sure that you can be on top of your game? How important is that in this industry, in the entrepreneurship industry? Like, how important is it to have like just people who have some more experience than you, being around people who are like a different circle? Like, let me say this. How important is it to be in a different circle where you're not the smartest in the room? You know, how important is it to be like that in this industry?
I feel like that's probably like the most important thing. Almost is knowledge. Learning from different people is like the most important to me. I would feel like I'd say, just growing as a person, just learning how to lead, or just learning little things from people that's bigger than you is one of the biggest things I feel like you can do. It's just following and copying the greats that did it. Or you becoming a great, or you setting the tone, right, and setting
the example for the next generation to do it, you know. Man.
Because what I'm doing right now is something different. I ain't gonna need love to, you know.
Yeah, one shot code, man. Look, bro, this the plan. This the plan before it happened. You feel me? It's already set up. The success is already set up. Especially like when you think growth, when you think progression, when you think positivity all the time, like, and you always are doing the action behind it, you start to see the results faster. So anything that you guys want to try, like when it comes to real estate, when it comes to trading, when it comes to getting into stocks, any other kind of investments, like don't be afraid to listen to somebody who has the experience. Don't be afraid to like actually try and get into it, make your mistakes, like learn from them, because like I said before, like investing is risky, but living life is just as risky. So always like put your all in it and make sure that you are doing what you want to do at the end of the day. When it comes to real estate, and from my perspective, I feel like if you own a home, you have to figure out a way to make it a asset. You know, you have to figure out a way to make it an asset so you're not always paying on it. Because like with me, it comes to residual income. How can I make money back from this? Like how can I get a return on investment? Like how can I benefit from what I already own? Because I purchased it, I paid for it, so I might as well be getting paid from it. You know what I mean? Like that's what my mind goes to when I think about owning property, when I think about investing into the stock market, anything like that. I think about like how can I get my return? You know, so always like make sure you stay plugged into the people who have the results that you want. Man, make sure you follow One Shot Kobe because he's doing big things. All this shit, rest of this shit, all next shit, like it's at the end of the day, bro, like it's up forever. You know, you just gotta stay locked in, stay tapped into the right people, all right? So, One Shot Kobe, you got anything else you want to say to him, man?
Man, just make sure y'all stay in tune with the Splurge token and make sure y'all just invest in it. It's coming out soon. I'll say.
You said the Splurge token dropping?
Yeah, Splurge token.
The Splurge token dropping?
I'm going to throw that little plug in now. Splurge token. Make sure y'all invest in it. January 1st, I'll say it would drop.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all always follow bro on Instagram. One Shot Kobe. Follow me on Instagram, DSCO33. And I'll see you in a minute, all right?